Hi, welcome back. So the previous tutorial we showed you how to set up the standard launcher, connect it to the local controller, and fire off some nice big explosion of arrows with flames on them. For the next one, we're going to show how to use the direct controller. This is the direct upgrade, or actually this is a remote controller. This is the direct upgrade of this guy. So this guy is meant to be a portable launcher that you can bring around with you real easily, place him down, connect him to a couple launchers, and launch stuff off. This one is meant to be used more for permanent bases, things that are going to need a lot more control, going to need to be able to use things like remote detonators and laser detonators. It's pretty straightforward. It works identical to this guy when it comes to setting it up. Instead of linking to the controller directly, you link to this guy, which I guess is the controller as well. So you pull your data chip out. This one's got to be linked a little differently. So unlike this one where you can link from here to there or from here to there, this one has to be linked from the silo to the controller. Eventually it will support in the other direction. If you ever get an error where the code does not match, that's just you click the wrong tile or something and you just have to click it right again. And it should work. Anyways, that's set up. Then you have to link the controller to the command center. This is actually going to give you proper control. You do have to name these. If these are not named, they will not work. So you can call this demo silo. And there's a difference between group ID and actual display name. So you can do demo silo so you have a much nicer display name. And then in order to actually see these guys, which is not actually set up already, go into the creative tab and grab it. We are going to need an actual display. Now the display can be placed roughly anywhere and you can have as many displays as you actually want. But you place this guy down. And this guy, you link the controller, or command controller, to this guy. And once you open it up, it'll give you a blank screen until you click this, and then it'll refresh and it will actually show you everything that's linked up. You can come in here and you can name these guys. So this will be silo. Hit save. This will actually make it so that you can actually see what's going on. You can hit fire just like the other system. It'll actually give you an indicator light to tell you what's going on. If this is green, you're good to go. Yellow, you don't have connection. Red, it's missing completely. If you had more than a couple of these controllers connected to each other, you can hit the arrows to sort through them, so you can actually go through multiple of these. I think you can hook up 16 silos to one of these, and you can hook up almost an infinite amount of these to one of these. And then this guy will communicate through an antenna to any number of these guys. That's the way you can open this up and you can sort through multiple pages, and you can basically control an entire planetary grid of missiles if you really wanted to. Anyways, a couple more steps on the process here. So once this is hooked up, you can literally fire missiles from this guy. But in order to get the bonus for the remote detonator and the laser detonator, you must turn this guy on to broadcast a network so that way he can actually communicate. And you need to make sure he is set into online mode. If I can not multi-click. There we go. Once that's set up, you need to encode each of the tools. So if we go into this, you can put this guy in here, hit encode. He will actually indicate what he's doing. Right now the tooltips are not updated yet, so right now they're just showing debug data of what the render is. But when they are updated, it will tell you what ID it's encoded for, what silo, and everything else. So since we only have the standard silo actually encoded, let's load him up with, let's see, what do we want to launch here? We'll launch some chickens. So nice chickens were launched. And for starting with, let's go pick a nice coordinate over here. And we'll go ahead and launch it. So when I click launch, it will go over here. There we go. Up and away. Unfortunately, with being nighttime, it's a little difficult to see this, but we'll roll with it. Oh, there it goes. And here comes our chickens, fluttering through the air. Works rather nice. Okay, we'll go ahead and do this again, except we're going to use it with a remote detonator. And we'll go ahead and put fire arrows in here. And then we're going to aim right in the middle of the cluster here. And wait for the delay. It will tell you how much time it's going to take. This is a rough estimate. This can be plus or minus of what the actual time is. It all depends on where you're aiming at. And it'll also tell you the coordinates, and it'll tell you missiles fired. It will give error messages if it cannot communicate with the tower. The tower right there is an antenna. It does have a range on it. You can look up the math on the wiki of how far the range is. The range does matter not only in the height, how far it is below ground. So actually we are getting a nerf because we're below the height of the map. Even though it's a super flat, it calculates height at 60. And it will also depend on range in all directions here. So how far you make it in this direction, so on and so on. This will make a cube-based area that then this can communicate with and this communicate. These both also have a 2000 limit on their range as well, so you can get coordinates transmitted from this guy to your thing from a really far distance, but this guy cannot transmit very far back to the antennas. There's a signal strength system and everything else that goes with it, so you'll have to pick and choose. The good news is these can act as relays, so if you set up multiple of these up around just the antennas themselves, they can relay the signal all the way back to your control system. And that's pretty much it for this tutorial.